Everyone, hope everything is going well. Yeah, I haven't done a video in close to 2 weeks. There was a religious week for Jains, so I didn't do any content on YouTube. I was posting on Instagram, and then I took a mini vacation. I'm like a tourist in my own city, and we just explored the city. It's always nice to take a break from everyday life, and now it's back to normal. Let's take a look at some of the weekly hanky panky that's gone down. And I'll talk about some other issues that I didn't cover in, I think, one of my videos from a few weeks back. Kevin O'Leary reveals himself among buyers of record setting Jordan Kobe card. The $12.932 million card was purchased along with business partners Matt Allen, aka Shine 150, and Paul Warshaw. This is on Collect. And they basically spent almost $13 million on this 2007-2008 MJ Kobe logo man card at Heritage Auctions last week. Now, my own thought process is okay, is this legit? Is there hanky panky going on? I don't know. I don't know the bid history that goes on at these auction houses. We know for a fact that eBay has hankus pankus go on with the shill bidding. I understand that eBay has worked on measures to change up the process to make sure there's less shield bidding, but there is still shield bidding going on with zero review individuals. And we've all heard stories at the big auction houses, there's hankus pankus going on. My own personal opinion about all of this is who are the other bidders? And that's what we'll never find out. But Kevin O'Leary bought it. So my own thought process is in the collectibles hobby, there's hanky panky going on. I believe the deep state, and call me crazy, is involved in this hobby, propping up the high end. I've explained this numerous times. I don't need to get into that. Okay. And, we have plants as well in this hobby, and it's artificially pumping up the high end. You have to remember the CIA during the Cold War, they pumped up art. Okay. This is a historical fact. Okay. This is not some sort of tinfoil, Alex Jones conspiracy theory. It's more of a conspiracy reality. Okay. A lot of money that's flowing through the collectibles through their agency. Okay. Would not be surprised if this is going on here, but I don't want to get too much into it. Once again, I talked about this numerous times. Now, what if it's not a conspiracy, right? What if this is a legit transaction? Why would Kevin O'Leary be buying this high-end card? Well, I was trying to think of this, and I came across a video of this guy, right? Economics guy I've been following for 15 years. He has complete different views than me, and he bashed Kevin O'Leary, and it had nothing to do with sports cards. And it had to deal with how Kevin O'Leary believes that the US, the inflation is going to get out of control. He thinks we're going to have hyperinflation, become Venezuela, and all of that. So if Kevin O'Leary does think that, then is he putting in all this money into collectibles because he thinks cards will be a hedge against inflation? Why are the rich and powerful putting their money into cards? Yeah, we know hanky panky goes down, but what's up with that? Yeah, you see stock market all-time highs. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's a legit purchase, right? If it is a legit purchase, is he doing it because he thinks that cards will maintain value during hyperinflation? I don't think hyperinflation is going to happen. I think we'll get nasty inflation, but I think that will be later this decade. And I don't want to get too caught up in microeconomics, but I'm just trying to come up with reasons. Why would he spend $13 million? I get it. He's 71 O'Leary, but he could just be doing this because he thinks it's a cool card and he has the money to buy it with some business partners. But I wanted to get into this. I was sent this last week, and this is secure collectibles. And in the collect article, they talked about secure as well. You could take a look. What is this over here? Secure, right? O'Leary is part of a fund called Secure Collectibles. That group doesn't seem to be looking for a return on this investment, but you see this on IG, right? I found this to be very, very interesting. Okay. Private sale. I'm very skeptical of private sale because number one, we've seen definite hankus pankus go on in private sales. Justin Herbert card from a few years back, it was over $1 million, and that reached even ESPN because Card Ladder verified it. And I'm like, dude, do we know if additional cards are sent off or is any money returned after the fact? I don't think Card Ladder did a proper vetting of that 2022 sale of the Justin Herbert card for $1 million. That's what I have a problem with private sales. They are not properly vetted. And even if an audit is done, what will prevent people from sending the money back or putting cards off to the side? How is that audited? And that's just one of my concerns when I see private sales. And all these private sales occurred right after the pandemic. And people say that's negative to question that. No, I don't think that's negative. Like if you are working in the accounting profession, these auditors, these top 5 auditing companies, you could go down the line, E and Y, you could go to PwC and a few others. They're very strict when it comes to auditing these transactions. Now, some people would be like, oh, well, you don't believe the auditing situation that went down with the loaded boxes. Well, in the scope of that audit, first of all, where was any verbiage or language regarding marketing and promotions? Are there loaded boxes for that? When Jeff Wilson posts stuff like that, he's not going to say anything about marketing and promotions because he is intertwined in this hobby. He's going to be like, oh, well, the auditor signed off on it. So that's what I'm looking at. And another thing to note with this 2003 UD Exquisite LeBron James card, like I saw another Instagram account like saying, why is there so much hate for LeBron? Well, part of the reason is that, there's MJ, from Chicago, have a huge bias. A lot of us grew up with MJ, so they always think that MJ is the go. But a lot of people get rubbed off the wrong way with LeBron. And then two, did he use EPO? Because Chow Sonnen made a crazy claim saying that he has the same drug man as LeBron James trainer, LeBron James peeps. And LeBron James did not sue the crap out of Chow Sonnen. And Chow Sonnen works for ESPN. And we know ESPN gets rid of people left and right, part of the Disney company, right? That's what I found very suspicious. So this sale, sold price $4.25 million. And this guy also is accused of using EPO. Hopefully he didn't use EPO, but I'm just saying, like, dude, some of these card prices do not make sense. Too. I mean, like in Jordan cards, shouldn't a Jordan card be worth more than LeBron? Let's just think about that, right? Some people say it's conspiracy theory, it's negativity. No, it's completely reasonable to question this. And until you have third-party auditors, we should question it. Some people will be like, you don't spend money on these high-end cards. Well, I would argue and that number one, I trade quite frequently and I look at price action. Price action is very interesting to me to look at. Look at technicals, look at fundamentals, look at all of that. I love looking at price. And it doesn't make sense, especially when we've known private sales, there's hanky panky going on with that. And in my opinion, to clean up the hobby, you need a thorough audit and not, no offense to Card Ladder, there needs to be a better vetting process because otherwise this is just like, the mainstream media. It's like, oh yeah, it's a legit because we saw the article in, SI or Collect, and no offense to them, but they just say, oh, we saw it there, so it's legit. And you're negative if you question the narrative. You're crazy if you say that Building 7 fell down on its own volition, right? It's like, come on, man. Come on. Last thing I want to get into DAP's sports cards. I don't think I talked about this, but so the thing is that the dude sold his Star Wars refractor card for $1 million. And the thing is that is this was the card. And the reality of the situation was I questioned the narrative during that time frame because number one, this dude was involved with people that have lied. And if people have lied, and also if you look at his sub count, I believe it's artificial. Like he has 59.1K subs. And some of the videos, he can't get more than me. And me, I don't do videos often. I don't do my thumbnails as well as this guy's doing. Okay. My thumbnails are like average, right? And I could still get, a few hundred views. Like he can't get a few hundred views with 59.1K subscribers. And now you got to ask yourself, like, when these deals go down, now you have to say, hey, was there hankus pankus going on in these deals? It could be completely legit, but look, I think that this guy was buying subs. We know that Daps was involved with this, staging of content. So when you're doing all this type of stuff, we definitely need to question the narrative. Once again, when you see these sales pop up on Fanatics and the mainstream media, if there's no full-blown audit of the actual transaction going on, how can we legit say this card sold for that much? Could have, but where's that proof? And, all sorts of shading. It's like people send me tips from shows, people send me what these guys are doing behind the scenes. It's shady, dude. Completely shady. So if it's complete legit, congrats. I'll take the L on it. But once again, we need audits. And I'm dead serious about that. So let me know your thoughts about that. And I'll talk to you later. See ya.